You ever watch a film and ask yourself how the hell somebody isn't smacking this person upside the head? Well, for this video, we're going to look at the top 5 characters that annoy me in some way. So let's get rolling. I'm Bob, you're you, and this is Classically Bad Cinema. Before we get started, I just want to take a moment and explain why I'm doing something different. I mean, this is a project I've had on the back burner for a while, something I thought would be kind of fun to do. Originally, the idea was I was going to talk about Corey Haim's movie Silver Bullet. Figured it'd be a good piggyback off of doing Watchers, the previous review. Had everything ready to go. You know, watched the movie, had notes, what I was going to talk about, what we were going to look at. But unfortunately, the day after Thanksgiving, on November 29th, me and my family suffered a devastating house fire and lost pretty much everything. So, as devastating as it is to lose pretty much basically everything you own, I also lost my movie watching buddy, Felix. Now, I haven't had him really physically on the show, maybe a picture here, and I might have talked to him. I know in Watchers I mentioned about scaring the hell out of your cat. But he would literally watch every movie I watched from my lap. I cannot tell you how devastating that is and was. And seeing how that movie was the last one we watched together, I just couldn't do it. I did try numerous times to bring him into the opening or the closings of the films with the lights and stuff. He just didn't dig it. But when I made that comment in Watchers about, you know, scaring the hell out of your cat, that was Felix. I mean, he would watch the movies, like I said, from my lap, unless the monster was roaring. Then it was like he hid under the couch, and then as the monster just continued to roar and wreak havoc, he just left the room altogether. So, like I said, I just felt that I wanted to do something different. So, that is the reason why I decided we would go a different route. But without further ado, here are my top 5 most annoying characters in films that I watch.
Why only 5? Because the man wants to deprive me of 10.
Number 5, Johnny from Cool as Ice. This first one's easy enough, can be summed up by one clip alone.
Drop that 0 and get with the hero.
Number 4, Uncle Frank. This dude has some deep-seated hatred for his nephew.
You are the worst. I hate looking at your face. I want to smash it.
And really could have made it farther up the list had it not been for the smaller role. But damn, this dude gets me every time I watch this movie. I mean, let's just forget the fact that this guy comes off as very materialistic, greedy. He's also oddly hostile, intimidating, and abusive both physically and verbally towards Kevin.
What the fuck is wrong with you? I know loan sharks that are more forgiving than you.
I mean, he's calling him a little jerk over the incident at dinner, threatens to smack him after catching him spying on him in the shower after his dad told him to go grab whatever it is he needed. He also seems to go out of his way to be an ass, like refusing to let him watch the movie with the older kids, or in a deleted scene, playing a trick on Kevin.
You know what they're going to call you in France, don't you, huh?
No.
Yank!
Number 3, Freeloading Grandpa Joe. Grandpa Joe was actually lower on this list until I started to really watch this film in a little bit more detail and all the questionable shit that this guy actually did. Well, when looking at him, first, he lets his family pretty much starve while they're funding his smoking habit. Or at least that's until Charlie finds that damn golden ticket. Then he's miraculously able to hop out of bed and dance around. He is also the last person that should be alone with Charlie doing anything. He narrowly avoids getting them both horribly mangled and killed in the metal fan blades. He almost costs Charlie the factory when they're confronted about stealing the fizzy lifting drinks. And then he threatens to give Slugworth the everlasting gobstopper. You know, honestly, this family should have spent less time funding the smoking habit and more time explaining the meaning of life.
It's about getting a paycheck and keeping a gun out of your mouth.
Number 2. Now, this one's a little different because it has a few people on here. And I'm looking at Donner, Comet, and Santa, or as I like to refer to them, grown-ass adults that should know better. First, there's Donner. Rudolph's dad is something else. First, he comes up with the idea to hide his nose. Then at the reindeer games, when Rudolph is absolutely getting destroyed by the other reindeer, and his co-worker comments, he's nowhere to be found.
Where's my dad? I'm old
And speaking of the reindeer games, what the fuck is up with Comet? Could he be a bigger dick? I mean, I get the shock of the red nose when the fake nose pops off, but how about being the adult when the other reindeer mercifully mock him instead of doubling down on the dickery and not only sending him home, but then triples down and joins in and tells all the younger reindeer that he's not allowed to play in the reindeer games.
I have cause. It is because I hate him.
Then there's Santa. I mean, this guy walks into the cave unannounced. He calls his employee's son a deformed freak and then sings about himself before he walks out of the cave and leaves. Then he informs Rudolph when he comes home how concerned he is that none of his family had returned home from looking for him.
Yes, very sad. Anyway.
Yet he's not quite concerned enough to actually send out a search party.
We've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas.
And plus, he's another one that should have stopped that nonsense at the reindeer games. Instead, he shrugs it off like it's no big deal. Then goes as far as blaming Donner for the whole damn thing.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Can you say discrimination lawsuit? Before we get to number one, here are some honorable mentions. Jar Jar Binks, irritating, not funny, and helps usher in the empire. Enough said. Jenny from Forrest Gump. Now, it's not the drug abuse, and it's not the poor life choices that she makes throughout this film that really annoy me, but rather it's repeatedly using Forrest at her convenience with little thought of his well-being and continually drifting in and out of his life. Santa and Frosty. All I'm going to say here, great job dropping off Karen on top of a roof of her house late at night in the frigid cold temperatures. The number one, Glinda the Good Witch, or as I like to call her, the true villain of Wizard of Oz. When I talk about her being a villain, I'm going to pretend that the whole you could have used the slippers to get home nonsense at the end never happened. I'm talking about damn near getting Dorothy killed by the big bad wicked witch of the West.
Oh, you're having a bad day? Did you die?
In the Munchkin Land, it's Glinda that can't stop running her mouth. She taunts the Wicked Witch of the West after her sister is killed, and even threatens her to leave before someone drops a house on her.
Yeah, be gone before somebody drops a house on you too.
She's the one that puts the ruby slippers on Dorothy, knowing how bad the witch wants them, and knowing that they can't come off as long as she's alive.
For the next 24 hours, all your decision-making privileges have been removed.
And after all of that, she has the audacity to tell Dorothy that she made a powerful enemy of the Wicked Witch of the West. All the while Dorothy just standing there like,
I'd rather not take sides.
well, that's all the time I got. If you have some annoying characters you'd like to share, put them in the comments below. And while you're there, why not hit that like and subscribe button? Until next time, I'm Bob, you're you. So long, everybody.